Welcome back to the Techmoto channel and the Ultimate Log Cabin build. Now in today's episode we're going to look at smart technology, and it's something that I've been really looking forward to all the way through this build, building the walls, doing the platform, doing everything. The one thing that I was really keen to do was get the smart bits and pieces installed, because I want to make this the smartest building or outbuilding or man cave or whatever you want to call it in existence. So the log cabin is going to have an AI. The AI is going to be called Jarvis. It's all programmed in Python. We're going to use a combination of things with Hue lights, the Internet of Things, IFTTT, smart things, all sorts of stuff. And we're going to make this cabin truly automated, I guess, but also reactive to voice commands and the environment with what's going on around it. So it'll sense humidity, it'll sense light. It'll have mood lighting, it'll be able to have conversations with you, it'll be able to tell when there's somebody outside, somebody inside, when you're approaching a machine, turn the dust extraction on, all sorts of stuff. So today's video is all about that, and showing you what we've set up already and explaining to you what plans we've got for the future. So one of the first things on the cabin is the door lock. Now there are no keys to the log cabin, it's all electronic. So I fitted this Yale lock to the door of the cabin, and this is controlled by an electronic keypad. The keypad, you just put your hand over the top, type in a code, and it lets you into the cabin. If you have a card, RFID card, or if you walk towards it with your mobile phone, it will also unlock, so it knows who you are and where you are. And you can also unlock it using the Internet of Things. So quite literally you can connect to it in any way you like, as long as you've got the ID number for the lock. So as I said, we've gone for Hue lighting. And the cool thing about Hue lighting is you get these gadgets here, which are light switches which fit on the wall. They're held on with magnets, so you can take them off, and they're just little remote controls. So you can take them anywhere in the cabin. You hit the off button and it kills the lights. You hit the on button, turns the lights back on, and you've got dimming controls as well, so you can have any light setting you want. So they're quite cool. Battery in those lasts for about 6 months to a year, depending on how much you use it. But it's quite nice because you can just have them on the wall. There's no wiring to it. In fact, in the cabin, there are no light switches, no permanent light switches. Everything is done on Philios Hue. Every light bulb in the cabin is a Philios Hue light bulb. So these are GU10s, just fitting in a standard light fitting. But each one of the GU10 light bulbs is Bluetooth, so you can call upon it from Philios Hue. The only thing you need to make that happen is the Philios Hue bridge, which plugs in over here. So the Philios Hue bridge has a network connection, an Ethernet connection which goes off to the router, and a power supply. That's it. You plug that in, you plug your light bulb in, download the app, and you're automated. So that's quite cool. We've also got a slightly different type of switch for Hue, which is over here. So this switch here is a multi-switch. You can hit the big button in the middle, or any of these little buttons around the outside, or if you press them really hard, then it gives you another duplicate of all of them. But the nice thing about this switch is that I can control from my desk here, I can control all the lights in the cabin. So I can control the office this end, the workshop at the other end, I can control the outside lights, and I can control the cupboard lights. So from sitting at my desk, I can control all of my Hue lights just by pressing a button. We've also got sensors. So if we go in the cupboard, it probably won't come on. Oh, it did. There's a sensor up here on the roof. Again, this is a Philios Hue sensor. It's magnetic, so it just sticks to this little thing here, one screw in the top of the roof. It's a motion sensor, heat sensor, light sensor, all sorts of things which connects to the home automation system. So it just goes on there like that. It's just magnetic. Fix it up there above the door, and when I walk away, the cupboard light will go off after a minute of no motion, and as soon as you walk through the door, the light comes on again. Okay, so that's all the main lights. If we turn off these main lights, you'll be able to see I've started putting in some mood lights around the outside of the cabin. So around the edges here, we've got some blue lights. which aren't so easy to see in the daylight, but at night time they really do light up. Now these lights are powered by this mess at the moment, which I will be wiring in a lot more neatly, but they're running off Arduinos, and those Arduinos will be connected to Jarvis, and Jarvis will control them using Python. These big silver boxes here are 5 volt 20 amp power supplies, because these lights, each LED runs at about 0.3 watts. So there's 300 LEDs on a strip, which is 54 amps. But that's 54 amps on the 5 volt side. So on the 240 volt mains electricity side, you're looking at just over 1 amp. So it's not too bad. It's the equivalent of one halogen bulb for the entire 300 light strip. So we've got a strip over there, and that goes the entire length of the cabin, and we've got a strip over here which goes that length of the cabin too. And if we just go behind here, you'll be able to see exactly what we've got. So we've got this LED strip which is connected to this rafter, but the nice thing about this is that when you're in the main cabin you can't see any of the wiring or any of the strip. All you see is the ambient light. Now the cool thing about using the Arduino for the LED strips is that you can write a simple piece of code on your computer to run those strips. And what I've done is I've just run a USB cable all the way over to those light strips. So if I send a signal to one of these strips, we can have a look at what it does. So it turns it off and it turns them on in a sequence. So I can have any color I like. It's red, blue, green, RGB, red, green, blue. And you can have any combination of it. So if you want yellow, you want orange, you want pink, you can make that color. And each light, each individual LED is addressable. So you can tell every single LED in that strip to be whatever color you want, at whatever light level you want, to make a sequence that works for you. So that's quite cool. Which brings us on to the brain of the entire operation, which is Jarvis. Now Jarvis is going to be installed down here. So here he is. So Jarvis is there, his little spinning logo is there, and all of his tabs to tell you what's on and what's off is there. Now this screen isn't fixed yet. There's going to be a lovely frame here so that this all looks like it's supposed to be there, and there's going to be a magic mirror over the top. But Jarvis himself is here. So this is Jarvis. His brain is sat down here underneath this bench. So this is a computer running Jarvis, and Jarvis will do everything for us in much the same way as Alexa does, but just, you know, more bespoke, and we can make Jarvis do literally anything we want. And Jarvis will have conversations with you. He'll tell you the weather. He'll do all that stuff that that Alexa does, but he's just a little bit more cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a few examples of what Jarvis can do. I'm going to point the camera at the lights that I'm telling Jarvis to turn on and off, so you can see exactly how he reacts. Okay, so let's start off with telling Jarvis to turn the lights on. So Jarvis has a command which he waits for. He won't do anything until you say the command. A bit like on Star Trek when they say computer. But what we have to say is, "Hey Jarvis."
Yes, sir.
Turn on office lights.
Office lights are on.
So he does as he's told. Hey Jarvis.
Yes, sir.
Turn off office lights.
Office lights are off.
Hey Jarvis.
No problem.
Turn on office color.
Are you sure it does mean changing the bulb?
Hey Jarvis.
Yes, sir.
Change mood lights to pink.
This is certainly your color, sir.
Hey Jarvis. Change mood lights to green.
Mood lights are now on, sir.
Hey Jarvis. Change mood lights to yellow.
Mood lights are now on, sir.
Hey Jarvis. Change mood lights to blue.
Yes, sir.
Now Jarvis isn't just limited to turning lights on and off, he can also control your sensors and things as well. So there are motion sensors around the cabin. There's going to be a lot more by the time I finished. There's a motion sensor outside the front door, and if you go outside the front door, he knows that somebody's there. So just listen.
There is movement outside, sir.
So he says there's movement outside, and if you come over to his notification window, he shows you where that movement is on the exterior of the cabin.
There is movement outside, sir.
Now, because I've come back in and I've closed the door and there's no movement, he will reset himself back to his standard operating system. There we go, so he's back to normal. So if anybody comes to the cabin, you can have your blinds down. If anybody comes to the cabin outside, on any side of the cabin, or if anybody comes to the front gate, or if anybody comes to the front door, Jarvis will say, "Sir, there's somebody at the front door," or there's somebody at the gate. Jarvis is also connected to the security system. So if anybody gets into the cabin through the windows, the doors, he knows about it. So there are entry sensors on the doors, there is glass break sensors on the walls, there are motion sensors over there on the far wall. So he knows if somebody's moving around the cabin. We've got cameras. Jarvis knows what's going on. So you see, by adding all of these different things, Philios Hue, Simply Safe, Security, Smart Things, my own devices, my own programming devices using Raspberry Pi and Arduino, can literally make the cabin do anything I want it to do. And because I'm programming it in pure Python using Jarvis, I can make him react in any way that I want to, which is pretty cool. So that's it, quick tour of how we've started automating the cabin, how we're using our own homemade virtual assistant in Jarvis to control all of our devices and sensors and bits and pieces. Now the system will grow over time, he'll become more intelligent, we'll give him more phrases, we'll give him more hardware that he can call upon or that he can listen to. So it's really quite exciting, and because it's in a log cabin, we can drill through walls and stick things behind things and not really worry about plasterboard walls in a house or the electrical system in a house. We can do whatever we want. The cabin will be smarter than smart in the long run. It's very exciting. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.